Welcome to Ocean Stories, a podcast hosted by me, Lydia Carey,
and me, Sarah Hursping. We may not be marine experts or even professional scuba divers, but we are curious about the ocean and ways to protect it.
Every week, we chat with conservationists, researchers, business owners, and anyone else with an ocean story to tell.
So whether you're a scientist or someone who's simply curious about the big blue, you're in the right spot. We can't save the seas alone,
but we can do it together.
Hello. Happy
Hello.
Tuesday, everyone, again.
Welcome back to a semi-solo episode, but we have someone really exciting at the end of this episode, and it's like breaking news. Wow, not my voice cracking already in sentence one. So definitely stay tuned. I feel like we just came back from a festival. We did not, but it pretty much felt like that.
We came back from Catalina Island this weekend from the Avalon Harbor cleanup, which happens every year.
42nd,
we put a bunch of stuff
right?
on our Insta about it. The 42nd, yeah.
We also filmed an entire YouTube video, which might come out next week, depending on my editing skills. We will see this week how fast that goes. But it was so fun. We met the most beautiful people. It was like so much fun. Everyone had such a good time. We were camping, but thank you to Kayla. Okay, we will talk a lot about Kayla and Blue World this episode probably. Well, and in the YouTube video, because she is the one who invited us to the island, and she was also the organizer for everything, like for all the trash collection that happened on the island. Because what happened is, I think 400 divers, or at least 400 divers were signed up, dove in the harbor of Catalina Island and cleaned up the ocean floor there. And they picked up over 1,300 pounds of trash, which was then brought to us. There was 3 different stations, which was organized by Kayla and by Lisa from Scuba by Design and a bunch of other beautiful people. And we sorted the trash and we weighed the trash and we disposed of it, and we had these sheets and we documented everything. You will see all of this in detail in the YouTube video. If you want to learn more about Kayla and you haven't listened to our, I think it was episode 13, it's called, I already forgot what it's called.
It's called Software Engineer to Ocean Advocate.
Exactly. With Kayla, you should definitely check that out. Well, and then we won't say anything more about the weekend because you will see all of this in the video. But we had a great time. We went out to some bars. We met so many cool people. It really felt like we were just on summer camp / festival / I don't even know.
It was giving adult summer camp energy, but ocean themed.
I think we also we were only hanging out with divers for the entire weekend. I don't think there was one person around us that is not diving every single week of their lives.
Yeah, every single person walked up to us and they're like, "So are you open water?" And we're like, "What?"
We're like,
"No,
nothing.
We're not certified at all." But maybe soon.
Yeah, I feel like this really pushed us to put it on our list for 2024. Like, we'll just have to do it. Like, we can't continue like this. I mean, we can, but no. I feel like it's gonna be Sarah and Lydia underwater very soon. When you go on the ferry to Catalina, it is like a whale watching boat. Holy crap. And we saw probably over 100 dolphins, like a pot of dolphins. They were doing the craziest stuff. And we also saw, potentially, I guess we saw 2 whales yesterday. It was kind of far. They did not look like dolphins. They looked bigger. They did like these flops slowly back down. So we couldn't really identify what was going on.
One of them, I think, was definitely a dolphin, though. The second one, I mean, definitely a whale.
Yeah.
Because it had like a giant fin poking out of the water. But I don't understand what dolphin has that type of fin.
No, I don't
besides
think it was
an
a dolphin.
orca. Oh,
I don't think
whale.
it was
Oh my god, I can't. What?
Lydia's not fully back with us this morning. Okay,
well,
so
we're winding down season 1 / ramping it up because
True.
we're going to be recapping all of our favorite episodes from season 1, aka every episode, all of our amazing guests. So we're going to be highlighting like our favorite parts from each one and sharing them again so that if you missed any of them that might be interesting to you, you can take a listen, take a gander. So look out for that coming up.
Yeah,
And then
also,
tons of exciting plans for season 2. We
holy
were
crap.
brainstorming, we were planning. We have so many exciting things on the horizon.
We
And
manifested
just,
some stuff and burned it in the fire, so
yeah,
you don't even
I
know
brought
what's
my
gonna
notebook to the
happen.
bar. No, this is a true story. Brought my notebook to the bar. We left at, I mean, it was past midnight. We went outside to the full moon and wrote down our manifestations, our gratitude list, and what we want to release. And then we were going to burn it, and we actually started burning it, but then we got a little bit thinking maybe we shouldn't just burn papers at the beach of Catalina Island. Is maybe
It
not the
was
best
also really smoky, and
idea.
we were like, okay, I'm literally counting down from 10 and someone just gotta rock up. Fair enough. And
We
then
were
we
like,
took
yeah,
it to
but
a
the Coast Guard
campsite.
is gonna come and arrest us. No, we stopped doing that really quickly, and then we actually just burned the papers in the campfire of our camping grounds. So fire safety. Yeah, so that
So
was
season 2
magical.
can only be absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it's infused with magic. And
But
that's
also,
something to look forward to.
I really want to say thank you because there were so many people. Like, we started this maybe 16 weeks ago. I think 16 to 17 weeks ago. 16 maybe. I just counted through the episodes, so that should check out. I think our first one was November 7th. That
It
just
was,
ran.
yeah.
Okay. So thank you for everyone who has listened and all the new faces, everyone who just recently joined. Um, we actually recorded another episode that you will hear later in season 2. But we were talking to another podcaster that is doing ocean podcasts for a long, long time already. And he's like, oh, most people actually stop at episode 7 or something because you normally, first, all your friends are listening, then your friends are stopping to listen. And then you actually need to build people that come from the outside world and listen. And I think week 7 is kind of where the dip is. And you're like, why the F am I spending hours of my life and nobody's actually listening? And he was like, you girls pushed through. And we actually had a big dip. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, and I don't really know what happened, so many new people came on. And it just seems to like spread around. And we actually seem to have reached kind of people in the area. Well, not in the area, but just in the ocean world. That are super interested, and that's so great. And to all of our friends who are still listening, holy crap, thank you. I hope you love it. So be ready for the recap. If you joined later on, there were some absolutely banger episodes in the first few weeks, so I'm excited for you to just be reminded of them or explore them or however you want to call it. Also, if you have any, well, honest, if there's anyone you would love us to talk to, send us a DM and tell us who. But also if there's a topic, because we feel like we want to spread out more in season 2. Like we want to go more into. It's still all going to be under the ocean and like conservation umbrella, but we want to talk to people that are more into sustainability, and maybe they're like landlocked or different ocean stories that are not necessarily tied to conservation and could be someone who, I don't know, had like a awakening experience or a traumatic experience, but then overcame it in the water. Like, I don't know, we just want to spread out a little bit more and just invite everyone that has an ocean story to tell. And yeah, ocean stories can also be land stories that relate to the ocean. So if anything comes to your mind, let us know. We're so excited.
And we already have some really fun episodes planned too.
We already have some recorded even. Woohoo!
Our friend Kayla told us about something crazy on Catalina. It's not totally ocean related, but it is an island surrounded by water. That's a famous diving location, so I feel like it counts to be talked about on Ocean Stories. And it's about the bison. And I'm not from the West Coast, okay? I'm like skeptical that the bison even exist. She told us, our friend Kayla told us that the bison were introduced to Catalina Island for a movie
Yeah,
100 years
Hollywood
ago.
production, right?
A
Wait, was
hundred
that
years
Hollywood?
ago.
100 years.
In 1924, yes, Hollywood. And that there was 14 of them that were shipped there, I guess, like to make the
I think it was
scenes
a
better.
Western movie. It was a Western movie, so they put the bison there because that just was a plot. Or, well, they just needed bison to make something look better. Which, that in itself, like, I love how they just brought bison there and they were like, let's just leave them on the
It's
island.
just
Let's just
so
abandon them.
1920s. It's so 1920s to just like mess around with animals, like just for a movie. Gotta give it to them. They were doing the most. But today, the bison population is like 150. There's like a huge bison population on the island. And the Catalina Island Conservancy protects them and monitors them. Like this is like their new home.
So
And it's a huge tourist attraction.
If you were ever going to be hiking in Catalina, most likely you will see a bison. And what's even funnier, there's this thing called Catalina Safari Tours. And first day we were in Catalina, we literally see like a safari guide with a safari hat and then a proper safari tour bus thing with like 4 rows back to back. And I was like, it literally looked like they just came out of a African national park and they just saw lions and giraffes and I don't even know what. And I was like, what in the world is going on and where are these people coming from and what the hell did they look at? No, it was a safari tour to see the bison and to see just like the Catalina landscape. And I was cracking up. I literally one day need to do this tour because it was that funny. But the bison population was kind of getting out of control because the island is really small and bison are really big, and I'm sure they were just having babies. So what happened? What did Kayla tell us happened?
Oh my gosh. This is an NPR article. It says at one point in the 1980s, there were more than 600 bison on the island. And then the Conservancy was like, okay, that is a bit much. So I guess that they started this contraception program and stopped the hunting of them and started giving them birth control. And now the population's at 150.
Yeah, and
so I think it was
apparently,
successful.
I don't know if this is like fact check or if that's a Catalina tale theory, but apparently after the bison got the birth control injected, some of them started to be like a little bit more aggressive than they used to be. So now some of them are sometimes a little bit mean to humans.
Yeah. Like they
Which is
gore
wild.
people. I'm not sure how many bison attacks, bison goring incidents there have been over the years, but there have been a few, which is enough to stay away from them as much as you can. Stay at a safe distance. I feel like I don't know the situations with all of them, but people are always getting way too close to wild animals and trying to take photos and stuff. So definitely, if you see a bison on Catalina Island, don't run up to it and try to pet it, okay? Because they do gore people.
They look fluffy, but they're big animals. Go on the safari go on the safari tour instead. Okay, well that was the bison story of Catalina Island. If you know more than us, we're happy to learn more. We unfortunately did not see a bison because I think they're blocked off of the main city and we were camping kind of in the main, well, not in the main city, but in that area. So no bison for us. We saw a ton of deer though, but that's it with our Catalina stories because if you want to know what was actually going on, you gotta watch the YouTube video. It's actually really fun. Back to what we are actually talking about today, which is ocean related and it's ray related. And I am sure that you have seen the videos that are anywhere and everywhere in the internet right now about the pregnant ray Charlotte. What's so special about the pregnant ray Charlotte?
I think everyone knows by now. It's been everywhere in the news that I think it went everywhere in the news because of the fact that this ray only lives with sharks. And people were freaking out at the possibility that this ray mated with a shark. Unfortunately, that is totally impossible. Or is it? No, I'm just kidding. It's totally impossible. But it actually brought a ton of positive press to this aquarium in North Carolina where Charlotte the Ray lives. So we reached out to the founder of the aquarium, Brenda from Team ECCO, to chat with her about like what's going on with Charlotte, how has it been having a Ray that's an international superstar. I mean, Sarah even saw like a German news outlet posting about
No,
about the Ray.
yesterday, well, there's two big German news outlets that can actually educate you about the news. Like there's only two. It's very regulated. It's not like the US because it's like government regulated, so they can spread false news kind of vibes. I hope this makes sense. So there's only two, and they were posting like it was all over the news. It was on TV. It was all over their social channels. So Charlotte even made a massive appearance in Germany. So I'm sure she made a massive appearance in any country in this world at this point.
It captured people's attention, but we talk about how this Ray actually got pregnant by itself. Question mark? I don't know. You'll have to listen to find out.
And we just want to preface this because this is actually the first time that we're like live recording, well, not live, but that we are like in the midst of all of this, and some massive news channels have like the rights to publish these stories. So we just want to preface that we pre-recorded this Friday morning at 6:30 PST. So everything that you hear was recorded on Friday, February the 23rd at 6:30 PST. So that is the status quo of what you're listening to right now. Maybe by the time that this is released tomorrow afternoon, Charlotte had her babies. Who knows? Like, we're all in the same boat. Nobody knows. I'm pretty sure she did not give birth just yet, right? At least I checked this morning and it seemed like there was no major updates.
I'm sure that it will be in the news when they are born.
And yeah, it was awesome talking to her, so listen to it.
Hello, Brenda. Welcome to Ocean Stories. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having us on this morning.
Well, I think everyone is so excited and we want to hear the newest updates. Have there been any updates, or what is happening with Charlotte the Ray right now? Is she still pregnant?
Charlotte is still pregnant. She is actually swimming her morning laps this morning because we're all here a little bit early, and she's like, the lights are on. This is exciting. What's going to happen today? Yeah, she is. She had a pretty restful night last night. We monitored her on the cameras all night, and she did. She had a pretty restful night. She's up this morning. She's still pregnant, and we're still here.
How long are stingrays usually pregnant? How much longer is she supposed to be pregnant? Or is this just a case where no one knows? It's anyone's game?
Well, I can tell you that in a normal pregnancy for a California round ray, the gestation is 3 to 4 months before the pups are born. But since we are looking at a parthenogenesis scenario, this has never been documented anywhere that we know of. There's no other data on it. So we are the data collection point, and it could take longer. We just don't know how much longer.
Wow, that is crazy that you're the first person that's actually, or the first place that's actually recording that data on this. So just to get the record straight, we all know the internet is freaking out with some theories about what might have happened. Can you once and forever confirm that it's very, very likely that no shark was involved in this, and this pregnancy is not half shark, half ray?
Well, when we first discovered she was pregnant, being scientists, our brain immediately goes into every possibility that could be out there. But based on our research and further documentation and talking with other experts in the field, we are sure that this is a parthenogenetic happening, which is amazing in and of itself, because the rarity of it is phenomenal. It's just unheard of, or it's not unheard of. It's happened in another ray. Let me back up. But for a California round ray, like I said, this is the first that we can find documented case in captivity of parthenogenesis, and that's what we are our research has led us to go with.
Wow. So for our listeners that don't know what parthenogenesis is, which is the hardest word to say ever. I hear people pronouncing it all sorts of ways. That is basically, I'm going to try and say the layman's version of it, and then you tell me what the real version of it is when the female grows the male sex organs and then is able to fertilize its own eggs. Is that true? Or you tell me.
Well, I'll give you my layman's term for it, but parthenogenesis occurs when the female develops eggs, okay, and the egg cells split on their own with no fertilization, and they grow embryos, and then the embryos develop into pups. But it's really crazy in rays, because what happens is the female carries the eggs, and then the eggs develop within her, and they also hatch inside of her. And then she gives live birth when the pups are ready to be delivered.
It's
Okay,
so
wow.
interesting because a ray, just like the anatomy of a ray, it just seems crazy to be pregnant. It's like this flat little pancake, and now she's pregnant. And I've seen baby rays before. Don't they kind of look like ravioli, like little pasta shaped? There's a bunch of memes.
They do look like little raviolis, and that is a very common description of them. So we are pretty excited to see them. But it's really cool when she carries them. When they hatch out of the egg, they're flopping around inside there for a little while. And then when it gets time closer to delivery, they roll up like a little cigar.
Whoa.
And they lay in there. And then she gives birth. They actually come out kind of rolled up. And then when they hit the water, they open their wings. So it's like watching a newborn bird kind of fly.
Nature is
seeing it in
wild.
water. Nature is wild.
So you said there's a live stream video that people can watch. Are people just on there 24/7 waiting for the birth? They're like placing bets
We
as
get
to
a
what's
lot
going to
of
happen.
yes. Well, the only live stream actually is going to myself and my assistant director.
Okay, gotcha.
Just for the safety of our ray, and respect for our ray and respect for science, we are keeping the live stream to us.
I was gonna
Okay.
say, I was like, she gets some privacy. Okay, Charlotte, like she needs to do her thing in private, and the world can find out later. I like it.
We debated for a long time, and I had a board meeting last night, and it was pretty much finalized that yes, we are going to keep this for Charlotte right now, and then the world can jump back in again.
It's so interesting how overnight she became like an absolute star, and now she's a famous ray. It's so interesting. It's crazy how in this day and age things just blow up. Like my entire phone is just Charlotte everywhere. It's crazy.
What has that been like for the aquarium? I feel like it's so much publicity, the most publicity I've seen an aquarium get in a long time.
Oh, well, thank you. It's been absolutely wonderful for us, wonderful for the merchants on our main street where we're located. Our big hope with this is that other people who are interested in this will go visit their local aquariums and learn more about the care of animals and the care of the ocean through aquarium classes where they live. So we're hoping that this is a big plus for the entire aquarium world.
That's amazing.
I mean, definitely more people are learning about parthenogenesis. I'm seeing things on my TikTok like this is the Virgin Mary of the stingray world.
So even
Which
though
is
this
wild.
is the first time this happened in captivity, is there a pattern? Like, would you say some rays do it, or some fish in general do it at a certain age or something? Or does it just completely randomly occur? Or do we not have enough data for this yet to even know what's going on, pretty much?
I'm not sure that there is enough data out there right now. We have a bamboo shark in our aquarium that has done this same process, and she has grown 14 embryos inside of eggs. And that's how we first became connected with Dr. Kevin Feldheim and the Field Museum in Chicago. They did our DNA on those sharks. And so they are very excited to come on board and give us their expertise in genome studies and genome typing. And they're going to handle all the DNA with Charlotte and her pup.
That's cool.
We're collecting data. We're living science right now.
Oh, that's so amazing.
What did they find with the bamboo shark?
That it was the mother. It was pure parthenogenesis. And, which we didn't have a male shark. So we kind of figured that. But it's always nice to have it documented and confirmed, and that's what science does. You get a hypothesis, you try out all your experiments, you collect your data, you document, you can. So hopefully we're going to be able to document and confirm some really amazing things for the world of marine science right now.
I have one more question. So once Charlotte gave birth, what's going to happen to all her pups? Are they going to stay at the aquarium, or are they going to stay together as family, or do they normally split up after a while? Like, what's going to happen?
That's kind of an interesting point, isn't it? There's no known documentation that rays have any kind of mothering instinct. So they pretty much have their pups and they're gone. In Charlotte's case, we actually have a retaining system set up. It's already biologically set. It matches the tank that Charlotte's in right now. So we will gather the pup or pups and put them into this other system while we let them get healthy and grow, and we collect their data. And then we'll go from there. But being a nonprofit, we have limited resources in certain things. And so this would be a great way. One of our dreams is to have a bigger tank so that we can keep all of them together. Charlotte's in a 2,200 gallon tank right now, and we'd love to go up to about 4,000 gallons.
Wow, that's cool.
You mentioned it's a nonprofit. Can you talk more about Team ECCO and what that is?
Thank you. Yes, Team ECCO is. It's a nonprofit. I guess I can't really say retired school teacher. Former school teacher, still teaching, just non-traditionally. I started all of this in my kitchen back in 2001 and started working with kids here in the mountains of Western North Carolina because such a high percentage of our children don't experience the ocean, but they have to be tested on the ecology of the ocean and the ecosystems of the ocean and how do they relate to fresh water and to the mountains where we live. And in 2011, I opened up this aquarium. It just expanded that much and that quickly, and now we work with local high schools and middle schools and elementary schools to bring in volunteers and interns who think they want to go into this career path, and they get to learn how animals in captivity, all about them from the ground up. And it's not just, can you name all of the Latin names for the animals, but can you tell me what it's going to take to keep them alive? Where would you find them in the wild? What is it going to take to keep them alive? And so Team ECCO has become a leading education site in that way. Last year we did 6,500 people in classes and programs. Yeah.
That is so inspiring and sweet. So many, bringing the ocean to people that maybe they wouldn't have known. And then they have the opportunity to explore a career in marine science.
Yes. We just got an amazing letter. We just got an amazing letter yesterday from a little girl in, I want to say she's in Indiana, but she sent us this handwritten letter.
Oh my God, show us.
And it's absolutely darling. And I'm like, I have goosebumps. I'm like, oh, can we read this letter? It's so sweet. But she sent it to us, and she talks about how she was so inspired by this, and she's always wanted to be a marine biologist, and she's only in the 4th grade. And so she is just now getting so much more involved in studying more about science and more about ecosystems for animals. And, that just touches my heart. That's what we are here for.
Beautiful.
Oh my God, I love it. It's like a viral positive story. There's so much negative stuff sometimes.
Sweet. I said, we're going to have to send her a picture or something. We'll get Charlotte to sign it. We'll send her a picture.
My God. Yeah. Just get her. It's just going to be
like, I heart Charlotte, and we'll get her a little button out there that she can wear.
Oh my God, that is absolutely incredible. So cute. Well, we cannot wait to see what happens with Charlotte. And Thank you so much for sharing your story. I had no idea what was all behind it. And yeah, this podcast is all about ocean stories and people that make a change in the ocean world and dedicate their time. And this happened, you were one of them. Like, this was a surprise. I'm like so excited that we got to hear about all of this. And this is an amazing project. So everyone who's listening, don't only check Charlotte out, also check the whole project and the nonprofit out. This is great. Is there anything else that you want to share before we end this?
No, I just want to say thank you again. Thank you for helping us get the word about how amazing science is out, to your listeners and to other people around the world and who pick up your podcast. It's just really, it's beyond words for us. Not something that we ever expected, but that's what science is. It's a mystery, and it's being gifted things that you don't expect and then sharing those gifts. Like I said, I hope it inspires people to go visit their local aquariums and to watch more ocean shows and get out to the ocean. Our website is, of course, teamecco.org, and ECCO is spelled ECCO, and that correlates with education, conservation, and commitment to the ocean. So we're there. We're there no matter how old you are or who you are. We want to help you learn about the ocean and get inspired by it.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Ocean Stories. If you'd like to follow along on Instagram, you can find us at oceanstories_podcast for updates and behind the scenes.
We'll also be sharing our ocean adventures on YouTube at Ocean Stories Podcast. If you like this episode, please show your support by leaving a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Join us next Tuesday for more Ocean Stories.